What's up guys, hi and welcome to Auckland Harbour. So we're going to do the second night of paranormal. We've come to an older part of the harbour and well, it was older as in it goes further back, although it's brand new as you can see behind me. We're going to see if we can connect with any ghosts or spirits attached to this harbour. I'm particularly going to try to pull through the Captain Cook spirits from the Endeavour ship and the Resolution, and we'll see if we can get anyone of any significance whilst still having a walkabout, and I'll show you the views. I'll tell you a little bit more of the Captain Cook story. So this is where we are, guys. This is one of the Auckland waterfront harbour eating areas. Quite a few of these dotted around. That's the revolving 360. So we're going to take a walk up here where it's a little bit quieter, and Andy's going to run the spirit talker. So where we are in location to the east coast of New Zealand, Captain Cook sailed in about maybe 30 miles south from here. His first port of call was a horseshoe shaped bay, and when he landed there he got into a bit of a scuffle with the natives because they were waiting for his ship, and when he came in they started throwing stones at him, so it didn't get off on a very good foot for him there. So he fired his musket to frighten them off, and he accidentally shot one of the natives. So he was really upset and saddened by that, because it's not how he wants to do things. So what he did, he got back in his ship. He called it Poverty Bay because there was nothing really worth staying there for, and then he sailed back up towards Auckland, past Auckland, and he went right to the top, an area called Bay of Islands, and he moored up there for about 2 to 3 months so his scientists could get off the ship and do their thing, picking up samples of plants which make up today's Kew Gardens, the botanical gardens, and also samples of bird life particularly. So eventually he made his way back down here and moored up in Auckland, but it was just basically then forests, and it was like straw huts, native peoples and canoes, and he managed to develop a really good relationship with those native people the second time around. He was giving them gifts of cloth and silk, beads, glass, gemstones, things like that, and they were also bringing him back gifts of coconuts and actually live animals like pigs. So there was a good exchange going on. So what I'm trying to do is, with Spirit Talker, I have a list of names of people associated with ships, the Cook's ship, because obviously a ship of the size of the Endeavour couldn't sail itself. He had a full crew. So there was him, there was a scientist on board, and there were 2 doctors. One was a doctor of astronomy and the other was a surgeon, and he had other sort of helpers, and they used to moor up, get on smaller boats, sail to land, go in amongst the natives. They befriended the natives would take them into the forests so they could get their samples of tree life, animal life, everything really that they could take. And this is the region where it all took place in the beginning, so we're going to see if we can pull forward any spirits associated with our very famous and our very heroic Captain Cook. James Cook, if you are present with us on this harbour, or if any of the men associated with your ship is present on this harbour, please come forward through this spirit talker and talk to us. You know that we have followed you from Whitby down to Lyme Regis, and we've been over to Fiji, and now we're here following in your footsteps to try and make communication with you. So we'll take a walk along the harbour side whilst we let the spirit talker do its thing. So what the spirit talker does, it will scan the area, and if any spirit people are talking, trying to speak to us, it will come through as a message. And for those people that are a bit doubtful about the spirit talker actually working, I felt exactly the same, until we did an episode at Pendle Hill called Witches Hung at Gallows Hill, And on that particular episode, we actually got a voice whispering something to us, and then it came through the spirit talker straight after. So that proved to me that the spirit talker is an active piece of equipment and it does work. You know, I like to believe in things when I've had some evidence that they happen, they work. If I hear it, if I see it, then I believe in it. Until then, it's just open for speculation. So this is the New Zealand Auckland skyline from a different angle tonight. We've come further up the harbour, and it's an amazing city for anybody who wants to come out here for a visit. It's 24/7, it's clean, it's safe, the people are lovely, the food's amazing, and there's so many interesting little museums and quirky little native shops where they still do the tribal carvings and all of that. You can get tribal tattoos done here. If that's your thing, you want to do the Maori tribal tattoo thing, they do all that here. Some of these flags flying here are different New Zealand flags from different regions. So let's see if Andy's got anything up yet on the spirit talker. Whilst he's doing his thing, I'll just tell you a little bit more about Captain Cook and his amazing voyage. So Captain Cook, he came over to find Australia. The Dutch, the French were also looking for Australia. So many people sailed past it and missed it. Like Abel Tasman in the 1600s sailed past Australia and hit Tasmania, and that's why it's called Tasmania, and he missed Australia completely and found Tasmania. So other people, Captain Cook came down to find Australia, but he first called at Tahiti, Samoa and Fiji. Then he came down and found New Zealand, North Island, and then down to South Island, and then he went over and then he found the coast of Australia. But we're going to cover all of that later when we do the South Island. He sailed up the coast of Australia and got tangled up in the Barrier Reef and was stuck there for a couple of weeks. And then he started to make his route back up to the Polynesian islands again, Batavia, which is now Jakarta, and then back home. That was his first voyage. He did do 2 other voyages after that, so this was just his first one. Have you had anything interesting through Andy yet?
Caught.
Caught?
Dorothy and the amazing, like tapping, analysed and cut.
Dorothy, so that's somebody, a different spirit then person?
Yeah.
Who's Dorothy, please? Would you like to come through? Make yourself known to us? Would you like to come along and talk to us? Whilst we've got the equipment on?
Hot.
Hot. Are you talking about the temperature or?
Not hot. Then again, it's not. It's hot.
Maybe she's going to give us a feeling of heat, you know, to let us know that she's here. Because spirits, not only can they make you feel cold, they can also give you a heat temperature. And a good way to pick that up is through thermal imager, but we couldn't bring that much equipment here because we obviously flew in.
Yeah.
Thermal imager would pick up heat, you know, if there's heat sources. Were you connected to this harbour, Dorothy?
You can get through.
Are we allowed through there? Alright, let's go then. We'll have a walk about, guys, anyway, and show you some of the scenery whilst we're at it. If we pick stuff up, then that's good, and if we don't, then we'll just do a little foot tour and show you where we're at. So we're doing 5 days Auckland, then we're getting the train down to Wellington and we're going to do 5 days there, but this will all be loaded up gradually. And we'll go that way.
I was a child.
A child?
I was a child.
Did you die as a child? I don't see why we can't walk through there. There's nothing to say, is there? I think it just means you can't drive through there. Let's just go through anyway, isn't it? There's nothing to say you can't film, is there? No, we're alright. Closed for maintenance. But I think it's just the bollards, isn't it, that's... if we get kicked out, we get kicked out. So look, sorry, we're just filming and we're just following spirit, and we get led down here, then we're going to follow that through. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, so there's Cursed. Let's have a film of this over here. It's nice with that purple shining on the water. So what's cursed or who is cursed, please? Bring some names through. Let's see who we're speaking to. I'm Alison, this is Andy. We've come over from the UK. We are here to follow on the Captain Cook trail, but if anyone else would like to come through and make themselves known, we'd be happy to talk to you. Can we go to that bridge that's lit up there? What do you think? There's people going across it, so I don't see why not.
People are scared of us.
People are scared of... Who are you? Why would people be scared of you? Are you from this region, Auckland? Or have you come through from somewhere else? Because we are...
Brown.
What did it say?
Brown.
Brown?
Brown. Mrs. Brown or whatever. Brown. What do you mean by brown? Brown skin. Brown.
Maybe. It might be a Maori person. North Wharf. Who are you, please? Come forward. Make yourself known to us.
What was this? Look below.
We're at the water's edge. There's all little sort of docking marinas here for all the different ships. That's a nice boat, isn't
Oh,
it?
doesn't look old about
It does, it's
Yeah,
a
it
classic
does
that. It's got nice big sails.
That.
It's beautiful that.
Mm.
Yeah, I think some of these are like shore ships, aren't they really? They take people out on tours and stuff like that.
See, I would have imagined here there would have been all like buildings for storage and stuff like that.
Yeah, originally.
Before they've redone all the wind. Oh, there would have been a lot of wind around here, wouldn't there?
Yeah,
With
especially
ships
with the tide coming and going the wood.
Wind flying.
We don't seem to be picking up any definite like conversation with anyone, do we? Should we?
I'm wondering
Can we
whether
go up
this
that
is-
way?
Oh, I bet you- oh,
It would have all been harbour, but it goes all the way down
Yeah.
back there, doesn't it?
yeah. So I mean, we don't know what.
We don't know what was it. We've seen black and white photographs
Yeah.
of what it used to be like in the 1900s. But we can't pinpoint any individual, like what shop or business that was here.
No.
Can only rely on spirit talker
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
through.
yeah.
I've just spied a couple of deck chairs. Are them deck chairs? Should we go and sit in them and just... it might be my eyes, you know, but they look like deck chairs from here.
Stuart.
They're probably not going to...
Stuart.
Stuart. So that's the
Stuart.
name.
Stuart. Are they deck chairs over there?
Come forward, Stuart. No, I don't think they are. I think it's just my eyes making it... thinking they're deck chairs when there's not. Make of that what you will.
I don't know
Well, they look like deck chairs from a distance.
that. Hey?
Because they're stripy, look. I thought they were stripy deck chairs. Well, we passed a couple of deck chairs. Deck chairs dotted around here, there and everywhere, isn't there? They
Yeah,
were on the
well-
island yesterday anyway, Waiheke, the way we went. I think this is it. We can't really... that is for getting on board ships.
Yeah.
Oh well, we can film up this bit of harbour, can't we? And then we can head back that way and see what we
No
get.
jumping.
No jumping, seriously.
Jump, jump. So if I...
Jump, jump for my love. Jump.
So,
Go on.
if I do this, will I get done now?
Jump in, da da da, da da da
There's
da.
cameras,
Jump, da da da, da 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 da. Jump in, jump, jump
I know,
for my love.
Am I going to be arrested now?
Well, you haven't been done for smoking yet, so you might as well be done for someone else.
I've not
since
smoked
you're
in anywhere
doing your
that
best.
I'm not smoking anywhere that I shouldn't be done.
I'll tell you this now, guys. Much to his chagrin, there is like big serious smoking laws in this city, so we can't just smoke randomly anywhere like usual. And this avoids the £1,500 fine that we nearly got in Hong Kong. Oh yeah, the stories are going to come out. The stories will come out.
I do like that one.
What's that? Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? I think these are like
These are like older ones. These are nice.
antique collectors
These are nice.
collectors ships, aren't they?
Yeah,
These.
I do like that.
Are there any people attached to these classic ships, please?
Lights.
Oh, there's lights
See.
everywhere.
So
There's literally lights everywhere.
I get the feeling.
I think that if we walk around there, we can get to that bit
Know
though.
what they're on about. Obviously, they're obviously building. There obviously was a bridge that went from there over to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's obviously it's probably decayed and stuff like that. So they obviously couldn't do it. That's why you can get a ferry, quick ferry that takes you from there.
Yeah. Is that the free ferry that we saw?
That's the free ferry, so it obviously takes you from there to there. Yeah.
That's a damnation.
Damnation, hell and damnation.
Hellfire and damnation.
Yeah. So obviously, that's where the bridge was.
Okay, yeah.
So you can see where the
Yeah.
things going up. So they're obviously
My life was amazing.
Right.
Was it?
Really?
Oh,
Did you
what-
own one of these ships? They're very James Bond, these boats, aren't they?
Did you own one of these?
I mean, these are the boats of like multimillionaires play yachts, isn't it, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice boats, but very classic, I think, some of them.
We.
We as in the.
So if we walk back down and then up that way.
Don't go back there.
Oh, maybe not. She said don't go back there.
Why?
Do you mean don't go back from where we've just
Don't go
come
back-
from, or don't go back? Well, we are going to. If there's going to be
Don't go back
spirits and
there.
skullduggery, we're coming.
Well, if you don't.
We're there.
If you don't want us to go back there, tell us why.
Yeah, why don't you want us to go back there?
Is this a bit of a better area down there? Is it where a lot of?
You're next.
Oh, I'm next. Next for what?
She said that to you, not me. You asked the question, she said it to you.
Ne-
You're next.
what do you mean?
Not
by
me.
next?
She's picked you. You're the one volunteer.
You know what? Do you know what it is?
Go on, tell me.
I always
I'm
get
all ears.
a little girl around me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see if you can feel that around your legs or anything,
I was
innit?
wondering whether it was the same woman from last night. And she
Oh, you think you pick yourself up a hooker, do you, here?
I
A ghostly hooker?
I always
You
look-
might as well.
I always
You got a
look paid
girlfriend at the hospital in Wales.
First land.
You got a girlfriend in the bar at the Skirridin.
Cursed land.
You got a girlfriend in York at the Fleece.
In the whole of this cursed land.
I know you've got one here, so you've got in a total of about 5 different girlfriends. The only problem is they're all over 200 years old,
They're all dead.
and they're all dead.
Hey.
They won't cost you much, Andy, that's one advantage. They won't drag you around the shop spending money.
Can you give me an answer to what she's saying now? Why don't you want us to go back down here? Is there a reason why you don't want us to go back down here? You need to tell us why you don't want us coming back down here. Is there a reason?
Arthur.
Arthur.
Arthur? Who's Arthur?
So the reason you want us not to go back down here is because of Arthur.
Who's Arthur?
Who's Arthur?
You'll have to tell us a bit more about this. Who is he?
Who's
Is he a bad
Arthur?
man?
Arthur Guinness. Why don't you want us going back down here? Is there a reason?
Let's go back that way because we're going to get tangled up with cars. So, scooters galore, guys. Everyone loves scooters in this place. It's Scooter City.
Why don't you want us?
Great place to get around though. Great way.
Why don't you want us going back down here?
Yeah, come on Arthur, who are you? Come forward. If she said don't go back there and then something to Arthur, sounds like there's a bad person called Arthur down here.
Arthur could have been.
But we was reading today.
Arthur could have been the pimp.
Why do you think it's all prostitution? Doesn't necessarily have
Well-
to be that.
I know, but just the way it was going.
It was going that way last night, but we were in a different parts and we might have been in the red light district last
We were going to
night.
go back down here.
We're going to go that way over
I know,
there.
but they presumed we were going back down there.
Well, I think we should go over follow the scooter people and turn right and go up there, yeah?
Yeah.
Because this is all harbour, and I think different things would have been in different areas. You'd have had your
I
warehouse area.
understand what you say.
What did that say?
I understand what you say.
Really? So lead us to a place that's haunted then,
So,
if you understand us.
Which way do you want us to go when we get down here then?
Lead us to an area
need
that's
to tell us.
haunted. Lead us to an area where
And
there's
are we in
ghosts
any danger?
that we can talk to.
Anybody?
Yeah, I think we'll head around there and see. I think because this harbour's so big, we're just going to have to do it in stages and see what we pick up in it. There's the scooter guys going off there. Yeah, you're as red as the devil there, Andy. No, stand behind one of the red ones. You did your Darth Vader. You can do your. You did your alien last night. Tonight you can do your Red Devil.
Beat me up, Scotty.
There's no intelligent life force down here.
What, factor 5?
All right. Does. Let's head back this way and see. So we're calling out to any spirit people at all, anywhere in the area who would like to come forward and talk to us.
Tip for everybody: don't look down there directly. It's me they see.
Who? Who are you?
Who do you see?
I think we're going to dawdle around here and film.
Who do you see?
And then, yeah, and then we'll head off down that side after if you want. Let's just do this harbour in stages because it's so big. But I think that it was all different things. I mean, a lot of it's brand new, but
It's me they see, but who are you?
I think where we were last night could have been more sort of inns and boarding houses and taverns where prostitutes would work. And we could be up, I don't know, say for example we're up the wharf end where they did all the business. There would be a lot of bad people doing a lot of like underhand dealings and stuff like that around here.
Yeah.
So do you know what we said last week? That we stay in one place and see if we can bring spirits through in one place, because if we keep walking we're going to get different ones.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand and I'm going to be on the ground. But who are you? You need to be telling us your name and why you're still here and who are you. You need to give us some kind of messages to let us know who you are.
Collect.
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 Who do I need to stand my ground against? And what am I collecting? What have I come to collect? Or what am I supposed to be collecting?
Little boy.
So there's a lot of spirit children around here in
Collect
this
a little
area.
boy.
Well, we've had a little girl and we've had a little boy, so I'm wondering now if, do you know what it could be? Do you know when we went around the museum today and they told us about immigrants coming over from England and Ireland to populate New Zealand? And first, the fathers would come over to find them a house, get some land, start a farm, and then they'd send for the wives and kids sort of like 2, 3, 4 years later. So what if this is the area where the boats came in with the wives and children? And this is why we're picking up kids.
There is a shapeshifter.
A shapeshifter? No, I'm not quite sure about shapeshifters. What would you say? What would you call a shapeshifter?
It's just a spirit that can change whatever they like. Especially people who...
Do you think it's like the spirit of a
Admire.
person or...
People, it's just people who... Obviously some mystical, magical...
like an energy?
Powers and energies that they can change from one thing to another.
Because we've had shapeshifter 3 before and I'm always a bit like, what is exactly one?
Human to animal. Yeah, it is possible. It is
Don't
possible.
forget,
Yeah, it is.
back in the days when this belonged to the Maoris, they would have done a lot of magic and stuff in these on this land, you know.
People coming back as animals and things like that. So that would have been.
So I think you've got to bear in mind that although as a populated place, New Zealand goes back sort of a couple of hundred years, it really is centuries old because the people have always inhabited the land.
People don't know. I mean, this is somewhere you've got somewhere such an out far place as this, right? For many, many years, a long time, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, nobody knew this place existed.
No.
So, what the question is, how did those people get to here?
They must have already been here.
They've not come from another island. They've obviously originally been here.
Yeah.
Who were the first people?
I've been here 200 years.
Oh really? So that goes back to the times when they started immigrations in 1850.
1824, that would have been.
So it would have been very in the beginning of the early settlers coming from England and Europe as well, and Ireland.
But that goes back to your thing, though, doesn't it?
Do you remember Captain Cook?
Who were the first people who were here?
Well, the Maoris were here originally.
But where did they come from?
Well, this is it. But where did anyone come from on any of the islands and lands in the world?
All this theory that they have about whatever it is, Big Bang Theory, and we all evolved from this, that, and the other. Surely, we would have, if we all come from the same organism, we all would evolve the same. We wouldn't look different. We wouldn't speak different. Yeah, we might speak different because there's different ways to translate, but we'd all look the same. How are we not looking? Why do we look different?
Well, different people have different theories.
beliefs.
Every single person has got a different thought and perspective and belief on how we originated to be here.
Yeah.
Everybody. So yours is different from mine. If we ask those people, theirs will be different again. And the people you talk to on a day-to-day basis, their views is all different. So who's right and who's wrong? There is no definite proof, is there? So everyone can throw their theories and their thoughts out there, but we don't actually 100% know
the theory.
The answer, do we?
The theory is that we all evolved from apes, right?
Yeah.
Now I get that. Right? And most British people, somewhere along the line, their ancestry is some sort of African or European or that, and you get that because Africa and Europe would sort of join, so you would have got apes. There's no apes here.
No.
You wouldn't have had them here, so how can we have evolved from that?
Must have had different kind of peoples, native peoples living here.
And that makes you start thinking
about
ancient aliens.
Well, there's different theories going on, isn't there? And think about it, right? You know the Charles Darwin theory?
Yeah.
Now, Charles Darwin was after Cook. He was in the 1800s. And it was one of Cook's men who sailed with him on the second and the third voyage. After Cook died, he decided to become a captain and take his own ship around the globe. He took Charles Darwin with him. Charles Darwin wanted to meet all the indigenous peoples on all these islands in the world. So Charles Darwin was working on his missing link theory at the time. So he went round all the different islands and he came up with a theory, right? And he wrote this theory down on paper, scrap with, just scribbled it all down with sketches. And the captain of the ship said, you cannot take that back to London, you cannot, it's too outlandish, the theory is too wild. So when he come back to London, the captain said to him, I can't let you go and present this theory, it's it's going to give my ship a bad name. So Darwin went to see all the board of scientists and governors and what have you with his theory of evolution. And he had a theory which wasn't the missing link, he had a theory. And he presented that theory. Now the captain of the ship couldn't cope, he hung himself. And when Charles Darwin left that board, that panel, that meeting, they told him, you can go with the missing link theory, but do not use that theory that you have. So what was his theory? And there's a massive library in the British Museum with all the Darwin stuff in.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is in there? I'd love to get in and find out what his original theory was. And do you know what I think the theory was? If you look at the chain of evolution, I think the theory was that aliens came and mated with the ape to produce human beings, and I don't think that they will allow him to put that out there. But I do personally think that was his theory.
Yeah, no,
I really do.
no,
If you think about it, whether you get people from like Maoris from these islands, or you get like Oriental people, or you get Native American Indian people in America, or you get European and African people and us, any of those people, you crossbreed them with alien, right? All those people, you think about
Melissa.
apes, crossbreed it with an alien, and you're going to get a human being. That's what I think. That's my own personal. Now, lots of people are going to rant, shout, and disagree. I get it. Everyone's entitled to their voice and their opinion. That's just what I personally think, and I think that that's what Charles Darwin hit on, and they stopped him from saying.
And I mean, obviously, the one that
It was too wild, weren't it, in the 1800s?
The one that everybody comes out with. God created the earth in 6 days and rested on a Sunday.
But how though?
But you think,
Unless God's a scientist,
I
could knock it all together.
Do you actually believe that?
I think that was just
Motion.
a story put out for people to understand
people
the
actually-
origins of the universe.
I truly believe that it's a bit too far extreme for my. But you think.
Well, having said all that,
who was, and this is something you would love to know, who was that first person on this island? Because it must have started with one or two. So who were there? Where were they? What did they come from? How did they get here? Because it's, when you think in our time, it's 24 hours to get here by plane from where we live, right? And that is the fastest form of transport that you can possibly get at this time, right? So in years gone by, it would have took you weeks, months,
3 months
years
to get here.
right? So where have these
I was
people?
treated well.
He was treated well. I'm glad about that.
Well, I think these are the immigrants, and I think this is the immigrant landing stage.
Melissa, emotion.
Because the
treated
messages we're getting through right now are relating to people arriving here, being treated well, and children. So I'm thinking that when the passenger ships used to come in from England,
Gruesome, hurting.
yeah, well, not all of them would have been good
emotion.
stories.
I was treated well.
Yeah, but the thing is, the crossings weren't very good. It all depended on the weather.
Well, yeah.
It all depended if people caught diseases on board the ship and passed it
They
round.
weren't the best, were they? No.
So it was hit and miss with the crossing, if you had a good crossing or a bad one. But yeah, I think when you go to different parts of the world, and people themselves are pretty much the same. The human being is actually pretty much the same everywhere you go, but yet we all look so different, and we all have these different languages, and that's the bit that fascinates me. Where did all these different languages come from? Where did these alphabets come from? Like hieroglyphs, Theban alphabets, Greek, Russian, the Arabic writing, all the different styles of writing and
think
alphabet.
different-
Where
Do you know?
did it come from?
Piano.
Is it piano?
The Nordic runes and
Yeah,
all this stuff.
But that's basically a lot of it is you probably had different tribes in different areas, and they all had their own way of communicating with each other. But obviously, if there was another tribe, you didn't want them, if you're passing by, to know what you were talking about, would you?
No.
So you'd probably use your own form of communication, so only your people could understand it.
Yeah.
And that is how
Like a
languages
secret
are-
text.
That is how languages around the world. And as one tribe took over the other tribes, that language became the language of that area, that country.
Yeah.
And that's how the language, that's my theory of how the languages started getting on. And obviously as people from different countries travelled, they picked up the languages and translated it, and that's how different forms of language. It wasn't suddenly at one point where everybody spoke the same language and somebody went up to the top of the Tower of Babel, and when they
felt God's wrath, and suddenly he came down and everybody started talking in different languages that nobody could understand each other. So no, I think that's the case. It is different areas, you different communication with each other, so people on the outside of that tribe culture.
I don't mean to scare you.
Are you with us?
Yeah.
Are you one of the people who came in on the immigrant ships from Europe and England?
Are you one of
Did you settle here? Because you remember last night we got the message, we are settlers, and we got 2 men's names. But since we've done a bit of research today, we've gone into the Marine Museum and we've looked up that the immigrants started to arrive sort of 1850s onwards from England, Ireland and Europe, because they wanted to kickstart this country off and get it farmed.
Are you anything to do with the piano? Does the piano mean something to you? Sure. That's what I have to check this one out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Really? Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Were you the person who played the piano? That's interesting.
Okay, you'll have to tell us what's behind this in a
I'd
minute.
have to check that. I'd have to check that
Just step
out.
over here because people want to take
Check
photos and
that
stuff. Alright, so ask some more questions around it.
Can you tell me more about this? So, if you were the person who played the piano, can you tell me your name? It's called the piano. It's not the one about the Germans. It's the one I'm pretty certain. It's about a piano player who come to New Zealand, and it's something.
No, the one who got washed up and lost his memory.
I'm gonna have to. I'd have to read up about it.
Is it that guy?
It's something to do with some. No, I don't think it's quite. It was based on probably a couple of 100 years ago. I'd have to check that out, but that just straight. I don't know. I had a picture of this guy.
And that's what you have to go with. This is what you have to go with.
I just had a memory of the film. Of the
Piano
guy,
Man.
The guy playing the piano on the beach, and but with Maori's there.
Okay, so it's not Piano
That
Man where he
was-
gets washed up.
No,
No, I think that was Italy anyway.
no.
But do you know what they say?
It was, probably.
You know when we've worked with
years ago.
psychic people?
But, yeah.
Okay.
You know when we've worked with psychic
No.
people in the past? And they've always said,
But
go with your instinct.
you,
Go with your photographic instinct of what you think a place
Can you
or a
give me your
person may be. Are you listening?
yeah.
Go with your instinct. That's what we always got told.
Can you give me your name? Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sure it was called Piano or something like that. And I'm sure. I'll have to check that out, but I'm pretty sure.
So
Just
that,
made me think of that.
well, I'm just thinking about that time we worked with Ian Lawman up at Smithers Hall, and he said to us, didn't he?
Joyce.
Your mom.
What are you doing here?
That is your mom.
I don't mean that. I don't mean
Because she's coming for it's a free holiday for her now, isn't it? It's a cheap holiday for her now.
that.
Joyce, if you're here, try and pull some spirit people for us, please, then we can
Playing the
talk.
piano, are you?
She did play the piano.
You did play the piano.
She used to like the piano.
You playing the piano in some.
Yeah, she did used to have a piano, didn't she, at one
Yeah.
time? I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, they did.
So maybe that's what's pulled her forward, because you're talking about the piano.
Are you both here?
Why has your dad's name come through as well?
No, I'm just asking. Are you
Right,
both,
so
are you both here?
no, what you can do if your mum's here, ask her to pull forward some spirit
Yeah.
people. Joyce, go and find Captain Cook for me. It's like meeting my famous hero from the past. One of them.
Don't go.
Don't
Oh,
know.
no.
We're not going anywhere right now. We're just going to stay here until for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then we might cross over to the other side and see what's.
And if you can bring people forward, or is my dad here?
Just go and see if you can bring some spirit people forward before we stand here having a family discussion.
Tell him for God's sake, don't be lighting up his pipe and tapping it round here, or else It'll be me.
We'll get the smoking ban.
It'll be me, the one who gets arrested.
Oh yeah, we used to always say to your dad, didn't we? Once for yes, twice for no. Knock him with the pipe.
Yeah.
But you know what we need to do? We need to bring your dad's old pipe. When we've not got it with us now, but we need to take your dad's old pipe out and knock with it and see if we get a response back. That'd be the best thing to do with that. Bring him forward that way. That will bring him forward the pipe.
Name.
We need to know the name of this
Know your
piano
name.
player
I'm Andy, this is Alison. We need to know your name.
so we can complete the story.
Check that out. I'm sure.
So what was his story? Can you remember his story?
I can't remember. Yeah, I just remember. I'm sure I remember. Whether
He was playing a piano on a beach. Are you sure this wasn't a David Bowie video?
No, it's a film. I think it's Daniel Day-Lewis, and I'm sure he was
Okay.
teaching some of these like married people to play pianos and things like play piano. And I'd have to read it up. I know I'm not making it. It's not. It is a sturdy film. It is a film. I do remember it. I think she's in it
Roberts.
as well. Roberts.
Was that his name?
I think Kate Winslet was in it as well. I'm sure it's.
Can you remember the name of the film?
I'm sure it's called Piano or something like that.
Okay. Because I know Piano Man was the one about the guy who washed up and lost his memory, but I think that was Italy, wasn't it?
Find my grave.
Can you find my grave? Probably
You have to tell
not.
us where it is.
Oh,
Depends if they died at sea or not, doesn't it?
depends.
So many people just got buried at sea.
need
Sir
to-
Francis Drake got buried at sea.
You need to tell us where you died first.
Well, I mean, Sir Francis Drake
I mean,
got buried at sea off the coast of Mexico,
exactly.
and you know, our friend Captain Cook died in Hawaii, and they never got the body back because the natives ran off with it and made some sort of a shrine out of it. And it was a year after that his wife found out what had happened to him because it took that long for the ship to get back without him.
Where did you die? Where did you die? Very quiet now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you find that with spirit, you get like a flaw and then it quietens off, doesn't it? And then, so I think what we might do is we'll walk over to that side and do a shoot over there and see if we get any different spirits coming through. But I still want Captain Cook. Come on, Cook, you know you want to. You know you want to. How many times have I talked to you? I stood in your attic room at Whitby where you used to sleep and begged and pleaded with you to come through, and I promised you faithfully I would come here to New Zealand if you come through, and you still haven't come through for me yet. Come on. Come on. I think with Captain Cook, he's going to come through on a quiet beach where there's no bright lights and noise and music going on, because he studied the stars. And he was all about a quiet beach where he could set up his telescopes with the men that he worked with. And he liked the peace and the quiet and the tranquility and the calm of the sea and the night sky. So I don't think these bright lights and this funky music is going to bring Captain Cook forth somehow. So I think what we're going to have to do is get the underground to that beach further down and then go and do a paranormal there, and let's see if he'll come to the beach. Because I don't think that this is his thing. It's too modern and it's too bright, and if he didn't come anywhere near this area in his life anyway, he ain't going to be attracted to it now. So Poverty Bay, which is still called Poverty Bay, was where he landed, and then he sailed around to Hawke's Bay, and then he came up to the top Bay of Islands, and then he came back down. He stayed up there for 3 months, came back down to Auckland eventually. That was the first leg of his trip. And then we're going down to the South Island in a few days, in a week's time, so then we'll get to cover his map, his route on the south side. And hopefully, you've got 2 weeks to come through. You've got 2 weeks to come through. But I'm thinking that we get ourselves in some nice tranquil location by the water on the beach. But we have to show you guys all of this because it's just so cool. It's a great place to come. It really is. And if you're on your travels over this side of the world suggest you squeeze in Auckland or some part of New Zealand to visit, because it's amazing, isn't it, Andy?
Oh yeah.
And for those people who want to know why we came to New Zealand, we did the first part of the series is our Waiheke beach shoot, which we talk about travel and how we come to New Zealand and where we're going to be going from here. And throughout this trek around New Zealand, we're going to be having different little personal talks to camera about us, our lives, what brought us together to do the paranormal, different things that we've gone through together or separately, and you know, then you guys can know a little bit more about our past, our background, and how we come to be, you know, who we are now today. So on that note, we're going to say goodnight. Yeah, we're going to say goodnight from the harbour.
Oh yeah.
Steady. Somebody complained that I was wobbly with the camera, and they suggested a gimbal. So do you know what that means? That means I would headbutt the camera every time I talk to you. I'll be headbutting your TV screen. So you've either got the wobbly camera or we're going to headbutt your TV screen. That's your choice. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next location.